average loan officers are delivering fee worksheets. Mortgage coach loan officers are delivering mortgage experiences. You know, they're sending the link so that if it's opened on a mobile device, it's mobile. Obviously, what I have on the screen right now is pulling one up, and it's a desktop view of a scenario. You know, why don't you, just walk us through what we're looking at, share this. Let's go through a couple mortgage coach scenarios just so people learn with how you frame a report, what you describe, and how you roll. So what are we looking at here?
So this is actually a presentation I did for a realtor. So they were looking at purchasing a home at $599, and I'm just giving them a couple different scenarios because she really wanted to be able to present this to her client as far as payments and what their options are. And so I just presented a couple different options, but again, not everybody's doing this, and this realtor would never, honestly, has never used me before they sent this presentation to her. So I had lunch with her. She asked me about a client. I sent this presentation to her, and now she exclusively uses me. This has happened over the last 3 months. And so I just was going through, doing a no money down, 5% down, and then a 10% down product. And so she just loved it. I mean, she saw it, it's easy to read, and so she gave it to her client. And so we're working with the client to get her home sold, but at the same time, like, it's just an edge that nobody else is giving her.
And how many transactions do you think you might get from this agent just to get a feel for the kind of, opportunity
we've already closed 3 deals with her.
And do you think she has the potential to be 20 deals a year type of agent?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yes. And big deals, too. She's a member at the country club, and she's got a lot of very, very influential people she hangs out with.
So mortgage coaches, I hope that this resonated. Felisha has this as part of her value proposition. When she's meeting with agents, it's how she educates. It's how she does business. It's part of her modus operandi. And again, I love how much you use the word edge. It just makes sense that you would integrate this into your conversation. I personally don't think there's too many meetings with an agent that you have for the first time where you wouldn't want to drive the conversation to make yourself a hero, where you're delivering them mortgage options on something that's valuable to them. By the way, how often are you providing edge reports, not just to borrowers, but it's at the request of a realtor, or it's to help support a realtor with a transaction? Is that something that happens often?
It happens. Once you show it to them, it happens more often than not. Like the next presentation I did was actually for another client. And I work with a lot of clients that might live like 2 hours away. And so it's really, again, giving me something different that nobody else is providing them in their community. And so this client lives, 2 hours away. They live in Des Moines, which is our capital. And so last night, the realtor actually called me. She's like, hey, can you do one of those analysis and send it over with the 195 with no money down with the 5.5 arm? And so we sent this over, and she just loves it, and they know once you kind of expose them to it, you have to remember they expect it. So it's a great tool, though, because it literally took me like, a minute. Went in, just add the 195, resent the link over. And, the other great thing about mortgage coaches, when they're viewing those. So if you're sending them by email, you know that they're looking at them. They click on them. It's a great way of following up with your clients and just saying, hey, I know you looked at mortgage coach. I just want to make sure, or with my presentation, is there anything that I can, or is there any questions you might have? It's a great way of just kind of calling them and just touching base with them, and having that conversation and opening that conversation again to see how quickly, or if there's anything you can do to help them kind of move the process along.
So help me understand. Obviously, you're using these. They're helping you get more referrals from realtors. They're installing more confidence, and obviously, home buyers like it because it makes the information more clear, more valuable. When you show this to a realtor, how do you frame that? How are you describing it so that it gets their attention? If you wouldn't mind just giving us a minute on that, just so we kind of understand your scripting and your talking points.
So what I talk about, so I always like to sit down with them in person and just have a conversation about how I do business. And so one of the things I talk to them about is just getting a name and the phone number. But I also talk to the realtor. I'm like, you know what? And I bring, the the sheet along and say, here's what I can provide to your clients that no other banker is doing, you know, in the area. And just talking through them. And then what I do is I say, you know, don't you think this would help your clients and also help you when you're out looking, so that they know if they're within like a payment, if they're within a certain amount of payment, that it's going to save you time if you go and show them a house that's, you know, $10,000 more than what they expected. So it kind of puts more of the, you know, realtors like to have control, so it puts that into their control, which is always a good thing, especially from a realtor, you know, it's a good thing from their standpoint. So we just have a conversation about that. And then once we start doing pre-approvals, I just send the link along with the pre-approval, you know. So here's what we talked about. Here's a copy of the link that we chatted about and what they're looking at. And then I just send, you know, here's their goal, or here's what is ideal for them, but here's some other options that they might have as well.
Got it. So folks, you know, when you're meeting with realtors, you could do everything from pull it up on a mobile device. As you heard from Felisha, she has it in writing. She's showing it. She's saying, this is how I do business. You know, I am a mortgage coach, and the way I deliver value is different. I want to remind everybody that not only can you do this with the borrower conversation, but you can deliver modern mobile experiences for open houses. So an average loan officer is providing printed paper. With Mortgage Coach, you can just send a link to the realtor and teach them and train them how to open that up on their own mobile device and have it on display at the open house.